DJ Cummings there hanging out at the very end of this as one car goes off there in the corner by Canada corner. You get a good look at Matt Stolnick coming up the hill, but wild times as we try and figure out who goes where at the end of this.
And there's Ron Capps, had a rough night and almost got into Shieldhouse as he was trying to merge back on. That's been the scariest moment, I think, if you're anybody on the lead lap, just watching out for all the lap cars if they have a mistake right in front of you when they're trying to join the racetrack cleanly. As you see Perez trying to make his way through the forced corner. And now, James, it's the final 2 minutes. So now you either decide to continue saving or try to push it to the end. I figure Brad Perez, his gap is enough where he can keep saving. But at this point, everything's going to start to crunch in. Everything's starting to get smaller. And it's going to be, in a way, a lot tougher for everybody as Perez tries to hold on for his first MNR victory.
He's trying to hang on. You see this thing crawling by comparison down the straight. There's Adam Cabot, who just popped into the picture there. It's an 8-second lead for the moment, but just how much is that going to buy you with the next few laps or so? Might be enough here, you would think. Here's your lap time of 08, so this should be 2 to go at this point. It's about 2:10 to get a lap done at Road America, so Perez should get the white flag next time by.
He definitely should, and that's going to be the worst last lap of his life if he can't get this right. He's trying to play the revs. I'm trying to hear his cockpit, how he's playing the downshifts. You do not want to be high up in the revs because that's going to waste you a little more gas. Try to play it safe through the carousel, maintain some of that momentum while also just being very careful on the transmission and where you put the throttle down. It's going to be the final time around Road America, 4 miles left. That's a long way, especially when you're in fuel conservation mode.
Lap and a half to go for Brad Perez. If he can make it, this will be a big-time fuel conservation run at the end and a big win for him, but he's got to execute on this last lap. Does he have enough fuel? And if he runs out, can anybody else take advantage of the fact that he doesn't have fuel as he nearly lost it there in Canada Corner? That was close.
It was very close, and there's 10 seconds between himself, about 9.3 now, between Perez and Cabot. So if Brad Perez does waste all of his fuel and does run out as he comes across to the white flag, that means that Adam Cabot has all the length in the world of this racetrack to easily get by him and take this win away. This may be the final time for Brad Perez.
Brad Perez to get the white flag here. One more lap in the Big Green Egg Next Gen Challenge, and it's a fuel-save one for the ages. Listen to how long he got on the clutch and then finally decided to gas it up. So I guess this is the moment where you decide to go, and if you have enough fuel or not, it's the last lap. You have to give it everything if you're the man behind the 30 car.
You definitely have, and you see him right there. He had a lot of opportunities to get by the lap car of Justin Malillo, but he's saving so much to the point where he doesn't need to get by, and a couple drivers I'm hearing have already lost all the fuel pressure, that being Adam Cabot, DJ Cummings out of fuel as they head for pit road.
Cabot is out, Cummings is out, James Bickford up to third, David Shieldhouse now to second. They're the ones who have a shot to go after this. If they run out, Gary Sexton would be next in line. Here comes TJ Majors up through the standings. Anthony Alfredo, who pitted earlier, has the opportunity to jump up and clear some of these drivers as Cabot is sputtering and struggling and trying to get enough fuel just to make the end of this.
He is trying right now, but there's still so many corners left in this race. It's now 16 and a half seconds between David Shieldhouse and Brad Perez, and they're both on that concern of whether they can make it all the way to the end and the start finish line. Brad's still in that concern as he tries to get by Justin Malillo, and now everybody's going to cycle through. We're going to find out, James, who runs out, who stays clear of all of this.
How much does Brad Perez have left in the tank? It really is just Justin Malillo ahead of him. Not much else on the racetrack in front of that 30 machine between where his car is and where the finish line is. So he just has to make it. That's it. He's got a 15-second lead on David Shieldhouse. And again, big time break there from Perez. He's not even going to try and test getting around Malillo.
And I heard it as he was going through the kink for the final time in this race, just letting off and making sure it just slides easily without any fuel pressure all the way to the end. Final time up the hill and final time through turn 14. Does Perez have enough? We'll find out if he can get this win.
All he has to do is make the charge up the hill, and it will be Brad Perez's night in Monday Night Racing. Does he have enough fuel to get up over the bump? Yes, he does. Give the Big Green Egg Next Gen Challenge to Brad Perez out of Hollywood, Florida, his first win in Monday Night Racing.
What a job by Perez to save enough fuel, keep his car collected. David Schildhaus is going to come across the line second. He spun it in the final few corners, but he had enough time to gather it back up and come back to P2. How about James Bigford? We saw him with damage earlier tonight, some issues. He's moved up to third at the start-finish line.
A wild night of racing. We saw so many folks fall out at the end. TJ Majors ends up in trouble at the end of all this. DJ Cummings is going to make it back home in 6th. Anthony Alfredo up the hill. He'll get 7th. Josh Slate going to try and beat Will Rogers. We're going to have a drag race to the line as Rogers gets to the inside, Slate to the outside. Will Rogers on the grass to make it through and get around Josh Slate to take 8th. A great race there at the end, as Slate may or may not have run out of fuel at the very end of it, but tough battle there between those two and a wild finish to this Big Green Egg Next Gen Challenge.